Welcome to Crimson Guitars and welcome to 2019. We're back. Throughout this entire holiday, I have been thinking about my studio. This place is an absolute tip, and I want to reorganize it. Start the new year with a fresh, sort of better organized life. And since my workshop is my life, well, that's what this video is going to be about. It's so, well, I have a couple of workbenches, I have a cup of tea. The Vise that I have over here is just diabolical. I don't have anywhere specifically to use my computer and do all of that sort of stuff, which means, of course, that I just don't answer emails. This is a sort of an engineering bench and sharpening area and various vices. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 vices? Oh, crikey. 9. There's one in a box down there. I'm very excited about that vise. There's a lot of space that is just dead. That wall, for example, I haven't added anything to that board for a long time. These storage areas over here for guitars in progress and stuff, I don't want to have multiple instruments in progress. I really don't. I need a hat rack, of course. I'm fairly happy with how this is all organized, fairly happy, but I do have this space here which I want to move over to. My lathe is one of my favorite things of all time, and I really want to use that more and get into it more, which means that my wood turning tools, which are all over the place, there's some there, there's some here on the router table or the Triton work center, which isn't doing much work because it's covered in stuff. Look at that, boxwood. Another sharpening system. I have wood everywhere, just random offcuts for tool making or just all sorts. Various guitars in progress. I've just got too much stuff here that needs to be organized. My studio is a mess. I've pointed out vices. They are the most important part of your life. Work holding is so damn important. And I have the Vintage Tool Shop, vintagetoolshop.com, and I just grabbed a random quick release vise that had a slightly broken bit because I don't necessarily need quick release, and put it on my bench. Little record thing, good vise. Was it record number 52E? There we go. However, it's a bit annoying. That wedge in there keeps it actually working. I might as well just fix it properly. And I thought, at the point when I got it, I thought, yeah, I'm going to fix this. And then I read about the Emmert pattern maker's vise. And then I met somebody who actually has them in stock in the UK, and I thought, well, it looks like I'm buying a vise then. So, well, let's install a vise. I am not going to unbox this on top of this bench because I am going to have to install it onto this bench. Basically, this vise is insane. It is vintage versions of it are a grand plus. They are incredibly sought after and just amazing. Basically, it's going to replace the carver's vise that I had over here and do pretty much everything else I could ever want. The vise itself swivels, it acts as a standard front vise. You can swivel it up through 90 degrees, so it's up here, through 180. Let's just have a look at the plans here. So that's your bench there. Tilts up through 90 degrees, rotates through 360, thus the carver's vise. You've got a cam action or a racking on purpose. You can put in circles and bits and pieces with these dogs, and also have those dogs on the bench further back, and then you can have a different angle of racking there. It's basically the most flexible vise that you can have. I got this one through Workshop Heaven in the UK, workshopheaven.co.uk, I assume. A fantastic company. I want everything that they have, and then some. Yeah, but it's available and it is amazing. But check out the links in the description below. For now, though, well, what do these instructions say? Lots of routing. 3 by 16 inch deep. I'm going to have a channel on the underside, 16 inches deep. I'm not going to do that with the bench flat on the ground. I need to tidy up my Triton workstation. I'm going to have this on this side of the bench. I'm right-handed, I plane down here. The bench is very, very heavy, but not stable enough, and I can't screw it to this floor. So one of the other things I'm going to do is put a base in it and fill that with sand or rocks or something. But for now, well, let's cut the template out and go from there. Cut along this line first. The super glue and masking tape trick is phenomenal. No mess, no fuss. All right, finally. Okay, I've already made a miscalculation. This isn't a normal vise. It doesn't mount from underneath, it mounts from the top. So I've put this on the top of the vise bench, which is underneath, upside down. Ah! Okay. Need some white spirit as well to get rid of all of this grease. So let's go find that. This is going fairly... It seems to be going fairly easily. And I'm not sure what's wrong. Okay, I have noticed that I did not recess it the 3/8 of an inch back that is on the plans. It's also very far forward. And once the rest of the vise is on, that's going to sit out quite a chunk from the bench. I'm wondering how far I can actually recess it, so I'm going to use it to see if anything will get in the way. If I could recess it 2 inches back. So I might be taking all this off, but, well, we seem to be almost there. At this point, I have cleaned a lot of the packing grease and stuff off everywhere because that would just get all over my wood. However, there are some parts of this that need greasing up, and I'm going to do that quickly now before I go any further with the installation. The lead screw, etc., needs to have some grease on it to keep it moving freely. Look at how big this is. Check that out. I'm gonna have to move my bench into the middle of the room. I'm having fun. Three days later. I am not going to mess around underneath the bench. I might as well just pick it up. It's somewhat heavier than it was 5 minutes ago. There we go, so it needs to be parallel to the original beam and on the line. I should have just done all this before putting it in place. Aha! Okay, this is pretty cool. That locks it at whatever angle I want. To all intents and purposes, we are pretty much done now. It's actually, it's there, it's a Vise, it's done. This came to me set up like that with a bit of rack, which is okay, interesting. We'll fix that in a minute. Something else that does need to be sorted out is we've got the two cams, and if you can see where the cam set needs to be changed, and that's fairly easy. I just need to adjust. There we go. There's a couple of lock nuts at the extreme end of where the cams are, and I need to loosen those and just figure out where I want the cams to actually be when they're in use. Okay, I've adjusted the locking cam on the tilt bar now, and this one here is very loose. So these two bolts here are on the other end of the cam lock there, and I just need to tighten them so that that cam works where I want it to. All right, so this is angled. Look at that. So that goes up to 5 degrees, I think it said in the instructions. Okay. All right, so that's very cool. Now this is, so we've got our cam down here. Loosen that off. There we go. So you can put a piece in sideways, and if you're absolutely certain, you could do edge mounted. What? Edge mounted. Okay. Okay. So the other cam must lock that. Hold on. So that's locked. The second cam must lock this so it doesn't rotate. There we go. So that rotates all the way around. You've got the smaller vise at the top here. Loosen that cam off. Okay, hold on. So we've got you there. This is amazing. Just pinch something. That's the rotating one. My gosh. Okay, so we've also got these dogs. Nice little spring there, and that's got a locating shape, so that fits into a notch in the back there. That's pretty damn cool. So yeah, with those up, you can put in even more random shapes, circles, or whatever. And we can have another dog further back on the bench for holding other parts. I'm like, this is pretty damn amazing. Locked, unlocked. So that's my rotating. You can do pretty much anything. Now, I do think that this is it's uncomfortably far out from the edge of the bench. Now, I did miss the instruction that says recess at 3/8 of an inch, but from what I see here, I would like to go another 2 inches in, at least. I mean, you don't want, at the moment this is sticking out a lot. It's sticking out 9 inches, and yeah, you don't want that, do you? So it's coming off the bench, and I'm going to make my routes further back, and then we'll have a look at it. I'm not going to bother filming that process. We haven't even tried this bit. Okay, hold on. So this... This is for internal work. I need to read the instructions. So you can have angled pieces within here. I assume that's what that hole is for. Auxiliary swivel jaw. The tapped hole in the tongue should point away from the main beam of the vise. Okay. Okay, so there's a keeper screw, so I need to put that in. We'll do that another time because I want to get routing. I want to use this damn thing. Now there isn't quick release, and that's not a problem. It's a very nice, very positive feel. I think, yeah, the only issue I have with moving it an extra inch or so back is that swivel arm section, or the swivel arm cam, the pivot cam, I think they call it in here, that's going to be even further away. Now, I did put this, I've put this fairly close to the leg of my bench as well, and that could be a bit of an issue. If I'd gone much closer, it would be an issue, but it isn't, so we're fine. Let's tidy up. So just for fun, I did all of that with a mallet and a chisel, just to see how viable it is installing this if you don't have access to a router. 20 minutes in, I introduced a hand drill and a big drill bit to the mix to get away with the waste. And it's doable. It took probably an hour longer than it should have, but no dust. So you can install this with a chisel and mallet and hand drill, or auger bit, I suppose, if you fancy. But, well, come and have a look. It is amazing. I am, with 1 or 2 reservations, incredibly happy with this. Now, the very first reservation is this screw, or grub screw, I suppose, is higher. Hold on, there we go. That's higher than my planing level. So I'm going to take that down. It's also fairly soft metal. At one point I thought I needed to reset those, and the one on the other side deformed because it was in so tight, and it's, yeah. Now, other than that, well, okay, so let's nitpick. These are a little bit loose in here. That's you know, that's not ideal. Although the screws, the springs, sorry, are excellent. In general, the castings. Go on, in you go. It's got to fit in its little pocket, and I'm missing it. There we go. Okay. In general, the casting is fantastic, though. I can't believe, and I am being a bit nitpicky here, I can't believe that this is the price it is. Currently, Workshop Heaven have got it up at £350, I think. That's insane for what you're getting. The casting, the whole thing is made in Taiwan, I think. It was a sticker somewhere. Let's have a look at the sticker. So, there we go, made in Taiwan with a sticker on there. And actually you can see what happened to the grub screw in the bottom there. So, yeah, that's a little niggle, really. Now, so all things considered, it is amazing. I love this. Often when you're building a guitar, well, I mean, a guitar neck is angled. I'm trying to find a guitar neck. I'm sure I got one somewhere around. Here we go. So guitar neck has an angle to it, and I can set this slowly. Look at that. Look at that. Just, I mean, that alone makes this worth buying for a guitar builder. And then, of course, you've got everything else. You can, it comes so far, it comes out about that far, you could fit an entire guitar body in it. And then you've got all of the swivels. So, hold on, where are we? There we go. So, it's just amazing. This face here has a little notch in it, so you could put a piece of bar stock. You could put a piece of bar stock or something in there, and it's going to hold it nice and square, which is very, very, very cool. And then I do need to fiddle about with the cam lock there. I think that's a little bit too tight. And then you've got your little metalworking vise here. Now, if I was doing metalworking over this, filings and things are going to go into the thread, which, yeah, to be honest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this all the way out, and I'm going to put something in there to stop that happening, because I want to keep this in perfect condition forever. But hell, people just don't make vices the way they used to. And as I said, this as a vintage, the vintage version of this, you're talking £1,000 plus. If this Vise was made in the UK, I would happily spend £1,000 on it. There are some improvements. I don't like the handle. This is sort of generic, they don't even give it a name, it's just generic softwood. So I'm going to make myself a nice handle because I like nice things. However, there is nothing else on the market like this, period. It's amazing. I'm going to use it in anger over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Come back and watch the What's on the Bench videos over the next couple of weeks, and I will give a running review. But from what I've seen up to this point, it is amazing, and I'm in love. Now you need to go away so I can do some work. I don't even know what I want to work on yet. I just want to put something in my Vise. Yeah, thanks for watching.